Hey guys, welcome to another news breakdown here on SODO Pop. Alright, as always, I'm your host, Frozen Stratos, and today we're going to be taking a look at all the SODO, SHODO, and YUDO, well not YUDO, news that came out this week, and there is plenty of it. So, first up, we have our very first surprise looks at SHODO Pokemon 3. So these things usually just come out of nowhere. There's no blog post like we have with our typical Sentai Rider stuff. So let's just dive right in and see what all we have. Like I said, usually just listings show up for these things, and right off the bat we get to see we have a Lucario, a Darkrai, a Blaziken, and a Tyranitar. And, you know, these are going to be the first 4 little boxes in this set of 5. There are going to be 5 unique pieces. The 5th piece is actually going to be an effect part set, which is pretty much par for the course with SHODO Pokemon. I gotta say, nothing new is going on with this 3rd set. Typically, we do get 2 very articulated figures. In this case, it's Lucario and Blaziken. And then sort of stunted larger characters, or at least, like, characters that don't typically need too much articulation, say, you know, Darkrai and Tyranitar, that we can move some of the budget over to the other figures. And, you know, I just think that they're really great at balancing the budget here. So this is all par for the course. I really appreciate the stride that they're going here, especially, you know, not really releasing too many each year, and it's very easy to pick up. Another thing I wanted to mention is that Darkrai in this shot does come with that little stand for his legs. I feel like it looks familiar. I'm not quite sure what that's from or what it's emulating, but it's there, so at least it can stand. You can't, you know, it won't flop around and do nothing. So these figures are going to be coming out in June of 2020 in a 10-piece box set. Hopefully that means they're going to be 2 of each box, so 1 of each figure and 2 of each figure and 2 accessory sets, and the entire box for all 10 pieces is going to be 5,500 yen, 5,500 yen. So yeah, that's your lot for these guys. They look great. Hope you guys like them. And now, that's it for SHODO Pokemon. Let's move right into the SODO Zero One blog. Maybe? Because we didn't get any Zero One figures this week. And something strange did happen around that it, you know, wasn't quite announced, but myself and Malunis of the podcast, we both had our AI06s pushed back a month. So I'm wondering if maybe there is a reason. They did say they're not covering it in the blog today. They were sorry. And I do wonder if there's maybe some sort of issues or some setbacks behind the scenes that's pushing AI06 back like that. Either way, very interesting discussion. But with the figure at hand, we do have ShaUTa. He was released, or not released, but, you know, shown off this week. So let's just take a look at this guy. The blog wants to note first the head. Now, most times, SODO opts to do the heads in PVC just to get those really nice lines in there and sort of like those protrusions, and same would have been for this figure because the fin is so high. But what that would have meant for them is that they would have had to break apart the sculpt in 3 places, and they just couldn't do that. On top of that, something they didn't mention, but you know, this is me, I guess, assuming, but also using the context clues around it. If it was in PVC, we already know that this entire set is going to have to be molded in clear PVC plastic because Taka necessitated that. So that means they would have had to fully paint the whole thing. And the head having a lot of black on it already, you know, like this figure itself in ABS is using a lot of black plastic instead of black paint, as opposed to they would have had to paint in the black. that probably would have taken up a lot of the paint budget, as well as the whites on the head. You couldn't sticker that because PVC does not work well with sticker, so that's another paint tap that they wouldn't have been able to do. Or at least another detail they wouldn't have been able to do cheaply without paint. So I think this was also a bit of a cost-saving measure, or maybe just a happy accident as well. But that's just me probably looking too far into it. The next thing they wanted to note was the little tentacles. And like I said, you know, the PVC of this line is all going to be in clear, and this sort of shows it off because these didn't need to be in clear, but they are painted white, so, you know, things had to change. Yeah, and my main issue with this is that I was thinking they might not be able to let the elbow bend, but here it is shown off on the elbow, or on the arm, and this showing that you can in fact bend the arm while it's on. So I'm very excited for that. That was like going to be one of my only sort of issues, and I have a feeling it might impede the motion a little bit, but I am looking forward to see how they execute it. Another thing they wanted to show off were the big ones. Now, I know they had to make them, but we got dynamic poses such as this, and I'm not completely sold on these. I mean, I understand, of course, they needed to make these. And I also appreciate that they didn't put like a stupid wire on the inside of it. Because from my experience, most times wires tend to, the metal inside, if you use them too many times, the wire tends to degrade. I'm not really into that option, so I'm glad it's just like a solid thing. I know it's going to be a little bendable, but like, I don't know, this isn't really in the most dynamic pose. I'm probably just going to shelve it off somewhere and not complain about it ever again. Next up, they wanted to talk about the legs, and it's almost fully painted. Reminder, I said almost, because the legs, the back of the thighs, they're stickers, but everything else fully painted, and I feel like the budget saved on the head went straight into the legs. Another interesting thing they wanted to note about the legs is that usually SODO has the sort of calf and shin section separated front and back, and now this time, in order to move with the sculpt, it's side to side, so the left and right sides are going to separate that way. So just a neat little thing that they tried to do in terms of construction, and I really appreciate them highlighting that. Next up, we get to see a look at the movie special set, the inclusion of the little tentacles there too. It looks nice. I mean, there's not much to say here. A lot of blue plastic. I'm very excited for this movie special set. But yeah, that's it for the SODO Zero One blog. Still not featuring anything from Zero One. I really hope that changes soon. But for now, let's get a little bit of follow-up from SHODO. Last time we saw SHODO, they gave us this teaser image of what we could not tell what it was, but it was definitely just Amazons, and these look incredible. I know that this is like a flashy image they do, but come on, this looks fantastic. And the figures themselves, they do look fantastic anyway. So Alpha and Omega are here in this set. This is going to be our mainline figure set. I was worried that this was going to be premium Bandai, but this is mainline stuff. And these aren't the only two figures, obviously, that come in this set. It is a very Amazon-themed set. The third figure that comes with it is the Alpha with the sort of blind eye, the smoky eye version. So, easy remold. Not even remold, just repaint. And I always appreciate watching the cost-cutting measures sort of work here, especially if it gives us sculpts like this. If they are confident enough about these really insane sculpts, so they pour more energy into these sculpts, obviously they're gonna have to reuse them a lot more. So I completely understand in order to get this mold the way it is, I'm completely forgiving the fact that it is ostensibly a repack almost immediately. They do it all the time. It's fine. Another thing that's in this set, though, is regular Amazon, and he looks fantastic as well. Another sort of Showa inclusion. Now, this entire box set is going to be Amazon focused, and I absolutely love sort of the I guess zoning in on just Amazoning in on one little subset of the writer history, doing tons of Amazons. So I don't know, I really like this set. And this Amazon looks great. They showed side-by-sides with the original one, and I gotta say, definitely an improvement. I'm not quite sure why they went from red to yellow on the chest, though. So if you have any of that information, let me know in the comments. But I really like this sort of more matte look to it. It has a bit more grunge, I guess. It's like the colors are a bit more muted, and it fits with the rest of the figures. So this looks really good. I'm very excited for this. But again, not the only thing that comes with this set, because Amazon also comes with this bike. I am a little sad that, our Amazons, plural, those boys don't get their bike. But there are enough Amazon figures that they could do to potentially give us a bike in that set, so I'm not too worried about it. And in total, this bike, 2 boxes, Amazon 1 box, the 2 alphas, 2 boxes, and Omega, so that's 6 boxes total. And that's plenty, 6 boxes, if we're doing the math, that's plenty of slots to give us the rest of the Amazon crew, plus the bike. So I am looking forward to the potential future set of that. Another thing here that I kind of wanted to mention were the little winglets and how it's connected by that sort of clear PVC piece. I'm not quite a fan of that look. And I realize, there are potential production issues that could have gotten in the way of making it look as good as it could have. My mentality on this is either I wanted it all or nothing, like either have the whole thing filled out with the clear plastic or just not have it at all. But if you don't have it at all, you run into like stability issues probably, and even molding issues. And if you fill it in entirely, that is an entire chunk of PVC plastic. So I guess I understand the winglets. And this wasn't in the blog, by the way. Again, just conjecture on my end, so take that all with a grain of salt. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Shodo Amazons. That's going to be out soon. This is actually up for pre-order on AAAMAAZOONS and HLJ at the time of this recording. As well, the Super Minipla stuff came out. I don't know too much about it, so I don't have any sort of slides for it. I just want to let you know all that stuff came out. The Super Train Dude, that one is premium Bandai, and it is actually available on Toku Collectibles, and the Victory Robo, I think the main mecha, that's actually available on AAAMAAZOONS and HLJ at the time of this recording, I believe. So yeah, get those. I was really hoping, really genuinely hoping we'd get an announcement of another Shodo Super set, because we just had the Shodo Super release in Japan for Sun Vulcan, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing those. I wonder how well they did, and maybe we'll get another set soon. Another thing that news outlets seemed to gloss over was that at the end of the SODO, or the Bandai Candy Toy blog, there was an image of a prototype of some sort of shuttle that appeared in the show. It was the Titanium Rangers Zord in the American footage. I'm not quite sure what it was in Japan, but that prototype was shown. So make sure, I have the links in the description to those blog posts, so go ahead and check that out. They look pretty neat. And yeah, all the amazing engineering in there is pretty awesome as well. So please go check that out. Anyways, guys, that's all for this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this episode, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to hear more from us each week, tell me in the comments down below what you're most excited for and what you think is coming out of Shodo next, and if we are getting a Shodo Super. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Keep it juicy.